I guess I'm very happy to speak with you. It's kind of it's interesting to be talking with you after your brother, the vice president, was actually on the debate stage with Kamala Harris last night.
Absolutely, and you're talking to a very proud brother, a proud family member. We couldn't have been more excited for the job he did last night. You know, Jan, he was measured. He exhibited the leadership that he's always exhibited, going back to when he was governor and, of course, our congressman in the great state of Indiana. And he showed he had a grasp of the facts. His address, he really kind of struck me as unprepared. She showed how extreme far left she and her agenda have been and will continue to be. And I thought she was maybe a little angry or maybe a little condescending. I was a little surprised about that.
Congressman Pence, what were the things that you saw that you felt were far left on the side of Kamala Harris?
Yeah, it was a typical, like we like to say, the Democrats, what they want to, particularly the progressives, what they want to do is defund, dismantle, and destroy. She made it pretty clear that, their plan is to destroy the American energy sector and substitute the Green New Deal, which is going to cost tons and tons of jobs all across our country, open the borders, destroy the fabric of our society in that respect. And the dismantle was, that stacked the court portion of the debate last night, wouldn't answer the question. After my brother asked a couple of times, will you or won't you try to stack the court? So, change that. And, we already know that she's for mandatory buyback of guns, and she supported Los Angeles defunding the police. And, that it goes on and on. She couldn't answer questions, and she demonstrated that it's a progressive agenda. She has, another part that I thought was pretty interesting when they were talking about kind of succession planning. My brother has been just a phenomenal vice president, supporting the president of the United States. She was kind of talking about herself a little bit. Really wasn't talking about, she kept calling the former vice president of the United States Joe. Joe this, Joe that. And never referred to the president as President Trump, although she did refer to my brother as a vice president. But, I guess she kind of sees herself as this is going to be her agenda.
So this is interesting. One thing, she made it very, very clear that she doesn't intend to ban fracking, which was one of the things that Vice President Pence mentioned about her.
She made that clear, but that's the opposite of what they've said in the past. And, I'm not sure how the very state she comes from is going to have, they're going to get rid of combustion engines in 15 years. She's the original author of the Green New Deal. So you can say you're not going to ban fracking, but you are going to ban fossil fuels. So that's just a component of it. Yeah, it's amazing to me how they will state the opposite of what they've actually said in the past.
Well, I guess just to work on this point a little bit more, I mean, people's platform positions do indeed change, based on what the American people wish and so forth. You don't think there could be a policy shift here?
A policy shift in terms of promoting the Green New Deal and changing our energy industry in this country? No, I think they've made that very clear. You can drill down and say one component, we're not going to ban fracking, but they do want to get rid of combustion engines. They want to just go to all Green New Deal and cost this country an enormous number of jobs and money.
So, Congressman Pence, in your mind, what important questions were missed, perhaps, during the debate? Is there anything like that struck you?
I don't really think so. I thought one of the highlights, one of the comments my brother made about, it seems like the Democratic Party, the Biden-Harris platform, is kind of trying to plagiarize things from the Trump and Pence administration. And I thought my brother's comments about the American people, the science industry have been fighting this COVID pandemic now for most of this year, and she was criticizing their use of science and their efforts in this area when they have been using science. Government scientists, industries. So I think there's some things that we kind of need to take a hard look at. Why won't she take a test? Why won't she take a vaccination? It's the scientists that are creating it, not the president.
So, of course, the vice president has been, as you mentioned, has been championing the policies of the administration, of course, and he's kind of been. I think I saw a number of comments that he's been a strong wingman, so to speak. Did you see any departure from this during the debate? I guess my question is, he has. You've known him obviously you've been watching him for a very long time, a lot longer than most people, and I guess my question is, how representative do you think of the way he conducted himself during the debate would be relative to his norm?
You absolutely saw my brother Michael last night. I tell you, we even got together and said some prayers beforehand, and he definitely showed America what a good, kind person he is, polite, a strong Hoosier values. Hoosier hospitality is world famous, and he just showed that. And since I'm older, actually known him all his life.
So Senator Harris, one of the things she mentioned was that she believes that the president has lost the trade war with China, which he initiated, and that the cost of that was manufacturing jobs and strife among farm workers, which is something, that's, of course, very relevant to your district, too. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I thought that was a complete and total misrepresentation. I actually leaned over to my wife and my other brother and said, farmers love President Trump. Manufacturers, let's look before the pandemic hit. We saw wages going up, business booming across the manufacturing sector. The president right after he took office on January 17th, said that he would put manufacturing and farmers first and foremost, and he has. So when she made that statement, I was surprised that it defies the numbers. It defies what we saw happening in the economy. And that would be an example of she has a right to her opinion, but not her facts, because the facts say something very different. The good news is right now, you bring up my district, manufacturing is coming back right now from China back into my district, because during the pandemic, the disruption that was caused in the supply chain, manufacturing learned, we need to bring back some of these lines that they had moved overseas, and that's going to bring wages up. That's going to bring more jobs to the Indiana Hoosier 6th District and all across the country. So that was just an incorrect statement on her part.
So, one of the things that was interesting, there was a Canadian reporter who was in China, actually, who was watching the debate. I think it was on CNN. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was on CNN there. And when China was mentioned, the screen blacked out, and that part of the debate wasn't broadcast. I'm wondering if you would have any thoughts on that.
I don't. It's the first I've heard about that. That's very interesting, isn't it? Well, we know China has put their economy first, that their business is first. I mean, it's well-known fact that theft of the intellectual property. It's well-known fact that when they do deals with joint ventures, with partnerships, they change the rules. They can do a 5-10 year deal, and they come back a year later and change rules. It's a communist country. They're going to do what they want when they want to do it. So, yeah, we're a free society. And I thought the closing comments by my brother about, while we can argue with each other and we can debate each other, we're still the best country, the freest country in the world. and proud to be part of all of the efforts that this administration has led through the pandemic and the economic crisis. You don't get that in China.
The vice president, when he was answering that final question that you just mentioned, he mentioned that he was someone that followed the news quite avidly as when he was young, and I'm wondering if you can kind of speak to that, to your time when you were younger together.
Oh, I think he always did. Well, he's a student of history, so he's a history major. So I think he was a voracious reader, whether it was magazines or newspapers as well as books, and he continues to do that. He reads all the time. He's always been that way.
I have to ask about this, even though I wasn't aware of it at all because I was listening to the debate, audio only, so to speak. But what do you make of this inordinate focus on a fly landing on your brother's head during one of the questions?
Yeah, and I thought it was silly. Probably wasn't the most important thing to focus on for the evening, but it was entertaining for some folks. I actually didn't see it. From where I was sitting, I did not see a fly on his head.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we finish up here?
Again, Jan, we're very, very proud of the way he comported himself and, the kindness he showed. And, you got a whole bunch of brothers and sisters and mother that are just proud of their brother today.
Well, such a pleasure to speak with you, Congressman Pence.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.